it's time for the coyote to come out and play. It's after 5 a.m., don't you say? We're watching this great sunrise work its way across that San Luis Valley toward us once again, man. And as it's coming this way, you know, I see the shadow of the mountain dissolving across the valley. There's pretty interesting sight, man. But as that shadow's dissolving away by the bright rays of the great sunlight, you know, I feel the same thing happening kind of inside of my heart. The shadow is passing away, you know. The light's coming into play, and they're not going to, ain't no stopping this after this day. You know, there never really was. We just, let them think they could. Here's to the all-powerful, all-knowing human heart in each and every one of us. May we finally acknowledge its reality and live in it. Now that's a swig of coffee, babies. And that one's going down really, really smooth. And I'll tell you why. Because it's, the warmth of the heart spreading into this reality like you wouldn't believe. The old divine heart blossoms inside of each and every one of us here every day in this coyote way, as we expand in our coyote play. Hey, listen, what'd you say? It's been pretty expansive so far today, and we're just getting a start, man. We're just starting to get those old rocket motors jetting away. Hey, it's a little bit more than a rocket motor these days, man. These days, we got it all. I mean, you want to be in an existential reality that's opposite of this one? Well, I don't think you really do, but if you want to take a look, here's a glimpse. And then you say, oh, hell no. But see, as we emerge through it, we started these humbled down, dumbed down, little human beings rumbling around on the earth and grumbling because we can't fly anymore, and just really pissed off about it ever since when. But little by little we come back again, And one day we're just walking down the street grumbling about how bad we got it, when in fact there's angels, brushing off the path before us and keeping all the bad stuff out of the way and shit, and we're just living in a gracious divine space and don't even know. All we can grumble is because goddamn washing machine broke down. I need to get the laundry done before Tuesday. How am I going to do this? I don't want to go to that crummy laundry man. And the angel's already got a plan for you. Hell, you worry about everything, and it gets done anyway, man. You don't have to worry about shit, But there you are, walking along grumbling one day. Got your head down, too. You ain't looking nobody in the eye and nobody in the heart. Fuck them all, man. You're really feeling pissy this day. You're like, Well, babies, that's the day it all comes into play. All of a sudden you feel the presence of an angel. I mean, you feel it. It's like everything, this whole world just dissolves away. And there's an angel in your presence, and you can feel it. You still got your head down, and you don't dare barely raise it, because of fear of what you're going to see there, because you can feel it, and you can see the radiance of it all around you, And then you look up, and there it is, and it's like a soul sister of the heart journeying in love from the golden rays of light from the heart of the universe, indeed. And she's smiling at you. And she's kind of snickering under her breath just a little bit, but she's smiling, and she's trying to be polite about this thing. She really is. She's an angel after all, I mean, And you daresn't speak to the angelic presence because you feel so damn humble. All you could do was grumble, and now here's an angel talking to you. Holy shit. How does this happen, man? Am I living in biblical days? I mean, what the hell is this shit, And then you look up, and the angel just laughs and says, honey, just relax. Let's go get a cup of coffee. She morphs into a cute little secretary in a mini skirt and high spiky Italian heels, and we trot off to the coffee shop to discuss matters of the unknown reality. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? That's how quickly it can change for you. And yeah, that story is just a bit of a little metaphor, of course. But the stunning reality presents itself just as rapidly as that, you know. You've given yourself a little time and space. You've got to some places, man, and it feels really right. And then one day it just blossoms, you know. Being, you know, I mean, it's like the hatching of an egg, man. It gets 21 days and there you are, if it's done right, you know. And only mother hen can do it the right way, you know. These incubators and hatcheries, you know, they turn out test tube babies, but that's the way it is. Not anymore. Oh, darlings, when you see what's really happening here, when you finally settle into that rock inside of your heart that knows, it's a different world, it's a different life all the way around. And yeah, it takes a hell of an adjustment in this world to fit back into it in some way, but maybe you don't have to. Maybe you can live just slightly beyond it and set that energetic trail for others. Maybe you don't have to, you know, get on the radio like I do and rattle away. Maybe all you got to do is shine, baby. Just let it be, huh? Let yourself be. And there was a time. Ooh, Grandpa's launching into storytelling, I can tell. There was a time in the long ago when we were living kind of a different medicine show. And the stars looked around at their creation and says, wow, man, you know, we got to do something a little different here. There's a zest, a zeal, some substance, you know, is lacking in all this form that we create and all this experiential reality, you know, around us, man. You know, life has kind of lost its pizzazzle. It needs to add a little dazzle, you know. Of course, you know, stars are restless souls just the same, you know. You think you were born under a wandering star? You are the wandering star. That rogue star that won't stay in any particular galaxy. It plugs in here for a few billion years, then it plugs in over there for a few billion, then it plugs in over there for like maybe 200 million, and screw that, enough of that. See, now you know where the human beings that jump around on jobs come from, man. They're the wandering stars. I mean, if they get a job at all, I mean, you know, shit in this reality, they make it too easy to be a sponge, but at the same time, it's like, wow. The only way I do that is if I'm living at the heart and the behest of the universe like I've done before. That works, but I don't want to be like, you know, flying a sign. Unless it's like, oh, we'll breed for feed, something like that. Oh, Grandpa's feeling frisky this morning. You got to watch this guy, man. Sometimes we should never even let him out of the cage, you know. Just let him pace like the wild little coyote he is, you know. And I'm sitting in there as I'm pacing back and forth saying, ha, 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 I'm flying above ya. I think that's what we're all doing to ourselves, man. Somewhere inside we got that little kid reminding us that we are the stars in the sky. You betcha. And far more magnificent than these when you come to see it for what it really is, you see. Now you understand, you know, a little more the nature of the sweeping changes we're undertaking here as human beings, you know, reunifying with our star presence and our star family that goes with it. You see, these other mother truckers that live in the unreal reality, the Matrix, they can just stand the heck out of the way, you know. I told them last week what they could do about fornication and with themselves and stuff like that, you know. But I did it politely, really. And I say from my heart, you know, those of you that still feel the resistance, just stand out of the way, you know. Hold your resistance, you know. You don't have to be that way any longer. I mean, you talk about the sizzle going out of a life. Well, look at yours, man. Shit. It ain't even fun anymore, you know. So just stand out of the way. Let the heart come into play, because that's what it's doing anyway. You know, you can't help yourself but rise up in consciousness. Because why? You're not separate. You're not the little demigod you thought you were, man. You are, you know, the great spirit of creation in motion. It's like everyone and everything else, man. The same essential life, you know. And no one or nobody, no matter how manipulated or genetically altered or whatever, can change that. That's just the way life is. And there's no stopping it now. I mean, the gateway's talking about gateway. The gateway's open. You know, the reality has shifted. While you guys are busy over there masturbating over atomic bombs and shit, and space travel and all that good shit, totally distracted, thank goodness. We just slipped it in on you. You know, here it is. Bing! You see, the divine presence has its will in everything, including the darkest of beings and the meanest of old machines, you know. Everything is alive in the presence of love that creates life. Everything and everyone. And this is how quickly the roles then can be undone, when we recognize that single unifying fact, that each of us is the one and all of us live in the one. We are that person, that heart, that one love. I'm getting kind of heavy duty here this morning because I'm feeling it, you know, and I'm flowing it as I'm speaking of it, you know. Just like we do when we... I started to beach up a little bit with the music there, but I was having a little fun with that, you know. Nirvana to Indian Lake. Ooh, the old man's leg you wanted to shake, I'll bet you, man. But instead you get up and party, right? You boogie a little bit. That's what we need to do. Keep the heart in motion, you know. I get up and party every night. I mean, boogie a little bit here and there throughout the day of the program here, you know. Like, you know, I just love dancing with you guys. You rock, you know. And it's a great time to be doing it, isn't it? You know, somebody was telling me about they got a raft of naked DJs down in California now that do kind of similar radio shows, and I'm thinking, gee whiz, I'd have to wear war paint. I couldn't just do it naked, you know. Mobutu say, attack with heart. Slay the reality, not the person. Yeah. Well, I think we'll just keep it to the Coyote Medicine Show on the Hazy Radio Network and let that just rock its way into this world in the way that it will, babies. We just let the heart expand and grow. And you know what always happens in these... See, this is how it's, you know, we got it slipped in anyway. It always happens in these quiet little ways, and nobody ever really sees it coming, though everybody bullshits about it, and everybody thinks they got the inside track. Well, and we all do in a sense, you know, but at the same time, it never comes the way you'd ever expect it to be, you know. Because, you know, we like surprises. We're coyotes, man. All of us. Humanity is coyote. Earth is coyote. Everything has that medicine in it, you see. And coyote is the cosmic clown. The universal angelic dancer, you know. The what do they call that? Kokomo? No, what's his name? Kokopelli. Yeah, there you go. Kokomo, that's Beach Boys, man. I love that one, too. The little Kokopelli, the dancing heart with the flute, you know, that can charm you and lead you away or into anything, you know, and does so too, because that's your heart. Kokopelli is your heart. It's not a character outside of yourself, though you can personify it as an old grandpa on the radio if you want to. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Kokopelli is your love, that dancing heart. That true heart that can charm everyone into doing anything you want them to, from the heart. You see, when you're real, babies, you know, you've got an incredible sincerity that just can't be argued with. You know what I mean? It's like innocence. It's like trying to talk that back to a kid that knows more than you do, and I know all of us know that experience. 3-year-olds can teach us. We should just shut the heck up and listen to them every now and then. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? A few simple words can change your life. Movement of a heart, see? Little child can lead them, of course. But the little child's inside of you and me, too. It's that innocent being at the center of the star of the universe that creates the universe around it, you know, and replicates itself in all these stars that we just happen to be a part of. Not only a part of, we are the art of the heart of the star. And each of us is that star of which we're created. That's why I call us the babies of the universe. The universal stars came from the heavens and created themselves in all of these various forms and factions that you see here in the earthly reality. It's all family, all of creation. It's Star Nation. All of it. Every God-blessed bit of it. And it's conscious of its presence. We're one of the few here that are not. But thank goodness for that, because then they can guide and flow us in a better direction. See, that was the idea. It's kind of like a great big old pinball machine in a way. And we're these little balls that get knocked around, and we have to learn how to spin and flow and go to the right places and get in the right directions, get all them billions of points so we can get the hell out of here and have 50 billion replays, you know. Let somebody else spend them somewhere else. I ain't doing it. Enough is enough, you know. So we come to this time where it's like game over. We won or not. It's, if you want to call it a video game, we've gone through all the levels of possibility here, each and every one of them, and sometimes in infinite detail, excruciatingly so, you know. You know, when you stretch it out in time, it can be boring as hell. There's not a hell worse than boring, you know. It really isn't. You know, the fires of hell can't compare to it. Pleased to meet you, won't you kiss my name? All the perceptions, and of reality that we chose to live in here, just beyond comprehension to your old heart almost. Yet we live in it, so here it is, you see. Ooh, but that's why we got to do this thing, babies. That's why we are doing this thing, because it's time for the old video game. And we knew this when we started this life. Talk about boring. We looked around ourselves as we started absorbing this world as little tiny kids, and we said to ourselves, huh? Not again. And the angels whispered, just one more time. Come on, kids, you can do it. Just one more. Yeah, Jesus, if we'd known what was in store, we'd have started partying then and let everybody else do it, you know. Hell, I gotta admit, for myself now, I hope it's been this way for you, but for myself, despite all the abject cruelty and shit we've had to endure here and so forth, it's really been a partying lifetime. And once I got, up and away from the old homestead there and all of that structured reality and started to settle into myself and find out what I was all about, then the party became, a pretty factual thing. In fact, I was that way even before that, but that's when, partying became the central focus of my being and my purpose for living. And it still is. I live it a little more quietly, but I'm partying all the time, every day, 24/7, whether I'm here on earth or back in heaven or anywhere in between. Heaven is a casino in Las Vegas, in case you don't know. No, I think it's in Kingman now. Oh, shit, no. Kingman, man, it's God-forsaken place. I don't know if you guys noticed on my Facebook page, whatever the hell that thing is, I actually changed my birthplace back from Santa Claus, Arizona, because there's nobody there anymore. Shit, it's gone. So I put my honest hometown down there, I was born in the cow town next door, in a little tiny hospital. It's now an apartment building. Last time I was over there 30 years ago or something. Goodness gracious, guys. There's a long old bunch of traces between them first whispers of, come on, kid, you can do it. Stick with it. This is the last time. Get to it. And we had to wait a lot longer than we thought we would. Of course, there's all these veils of secrecy we have to unwind and shit, There's always a recipe and a formula and all this bullshit, And somebody else is always trying to tell you how to do it, and you're just having to figure out that you can only rely on the intuitive love that is your heart. And that's what life proves to you again and again and again. Sometimes when you step so far from it, you don't even know you have it again. But then you start to realize that you did have the feelings. You did know that whatever the little disaster was coming, was going to happen. You saw it coming plain as day, and you could have averted it, but you chose not to. Or at least minimized it. I mean, when you see the crick coming, you can throw some sandbags around the house and minimize the damage, You could have done that emergency stuff easy, but you don't. You just look at it and you resign yourself to it. Somehow you feel like you deserve it. That somehow somebody else's insanity is your insanity. Their greed is your greed. It's like, no. But yet at the same time, in a sense, That's an essential truth, because we allow that stuff to happen because we do know it's coming. You see? It's part of how we share our gifts in this reality, because what we're really doing in those moments when we surrender to what we think is total stupidity and let others, quote, quote, take advantage of us, and rob us of money and shit. Well, babies, what we're really doing for them is giving them an opportunity to find fulfillment in themselves to actually turn the other way. And we'll do it again and again, especially once we become conscious of it. But we do it unconsciously anyway. It's a pattern we established early in the day. On this lifetime was a way to get through, share some energies with those that were unreachable otherwise. So we've been drawn into some dealings with some really dark dudes and dudettes, man. But we've lived to tell about it, and we're not any the worse for it. In fact, we're far better for it. We've learned and grown, and we know what not to experience again, don't we? It's more than worth whatever the money you paid, whatever you lost. You don't lose anything. Every moment we live, every breath we take is a gain. Everything is a reward in and of itself. Every moment we live. Our soul just tingles with delight, and you can feel it in your heart now. It's a quiet thing, you see. That's why a lot of people miss it. Peace is really quiet. They expect dynamic and powerful. Well, it sure as hell is, but it comes from quiet places. When I say quiet, I don't mean silent. Quiet is a state of being. When you're quiet inside, you're there, you see. And then you hear it all, because you live in it. The resonant harmony of love. Yee-haw. Saddle this pony, and let's take a ride. What do you say, macaroni? Are we getting this day underway right here on the Coyote Medicine Show? Is this a good little wake-up call, don't you know? And don't you just want to get one of these Mary Jane Gateway to Paradise mugs and show it off to your friends and join us all on 420 for the world's biggest smoke-in? Legitimize Mary Jane across the planet. Surrender your heart to Mary Jane. I'm talking to the cops and robbers and everybody in between, military and government. Hey, babies, one day it's 420 for heck's sakes. Everybody just lighten up and light up on 420 this year. That's the theme, man. Lighten up and light up. It's 420, babies. It's a day to remember forever and ever. And you can actually help instigate it by, getting on over to thecoyoteclub.com and getting your Mary Jane Gateway to Paradise mug and showing it off to your friends and family down there at the Starbucks and the bar and grill where you hang out, I know you rascals, man. I got friends in low places. Where is that when I need it, doggone it, I tell you. Well, babies, going with the flow here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the radio network called Hazy, babies. You want to get it clear, you tune in over here. Grandpa will grab the old truth by the horns and will make it steer clear of anybody here, because we just want to live in fabrication and, have a good time, challenge ourselves with more and more heartless illusions, right? Oh, I think I got that one backwards. Dang. The sun does rise in the east. Though from here it looks like the west. And darlings, we are the yeast of life for many in the great vat of love. And we're going to be more than Sadder Budweiser, baby. We're the microbrew of reality. We're the very elixir of life itself. The vintage of the grapes of life, hell yeah, and the beer too, man. The hops and the barleys and the wheats and the corns and everything else that we wanted to bring into being here to keep ourselves entertained for a while we played in the fields of life and got used to being what they called physicality, got used to the density and the poles of polarity and all that good shit, So we knew what to expect as we began to function again as the star beings that we are in creation. You see, when I start to encourage that little child forward out of your heart, it's the star being. It's the sun. You see, I remember how I've kind of symbolized it as about a 3-year-old child in the center of this sphere of, love, this light love, it's golden green kind of, everything's glowing. Creation's flowing from that little child outward. Through its eyes, it looks around, and what it sees, it creates, That's what it feels like to be a star. And see, we've been like eclipsed to a certain extent, so we can only do so much. Kept us from, possibly creating some disharmony of one sort or another here, allowed us to live in a state of perceived disharmony without actually ever creating that actual energy in reality. I know it stretches the heart to allow you to see this, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's plain as day when you're living in the heart this way. And you feel this unity, this life, this reality. See, transformation's not a joke. Ascension? Well, these are nice words, they really are, and they're beautiful, and they do describe in some way what's happening here, but really, it's a return to our reality, our truth. A realization of the grand experience and experiment, the huge video game / movie / pinball of life that we've been involved in, It's like there will be closing and opening credits, the end and the beginning. There'll be / You won't be able to read it because they'll be on top of each other and melded, The end and the beginning, but it'll be there. It just looked like a big old glowing blob in the sky, man. Hey, God, fix them titles, will ya? That's Elmer's job. Oh, the melding of the multi-dimensional reality. It has so many facets for us yet to see, yet to be. Isn't it getting fun, though? We taking it on the run here on the Coyote Medicine Show and Gizmo, babies. Here's to help you get a glow. I'm taking one for you. Legal as all get out here in Colorado. This is for medicinal and sacred purposes that we enlighten ourselves in this way. And you have to respect it because I am the Pope of Pot, and therefore I'm entitled, to the use and administration of the sacred herb. That's what I live and do and be. I am the Mary Jane's right-hand man. What else can I say? And I don't advocate her for everybody, but if you don't do it, I don't know what's wrong with you. I wouldn't want anybody to break the law anywhere. But work in your heart to change it so you don't have to listen to that stuff. Legitimize Mary Jane. That's the message, too. 420. Lighten up and light up, man. Everybody. Smoke it out, man, on 4/20/2015. Let's bring on the divine nature of love in the most humorous sort of way, shall we? And have a great time with it, too, man. I'm talking to the police, the governmental types, the military, everybody. The angels are welcome. Come join us, too, man. It's going to be a party, 4/20/2015. We're going to shake and light up that mighty thing called MJ, Mary Jane. The supreme divine wealth of the feminine heart. Alive in your conscious presence, because this plant shares its presence with you, which is inside of you already. They're matching energies. Smoking it is transformation. Taking what's not real and turning it into the elemental reality. Breaking it down to the simplicity of feeling from which all creation arises.